ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for an awesome day of StarCraft 2 again. One more time, we have two incredibly high-level players, and here to catch those guys perform at their best is with me, Black One. How do you feel about this series, my friend?
Oh, I'm super excited. I'm so stoked. Dream, one of the up-and-coming Terrans right now after finishing his military service. And Patience is always a force to be reckoned with. So I'm definitely looking forward to a great series.
And so am I, for sure. Guys they were just waiting for me to actually start the lobby, and now that we're done with introductions, I don't want to make them wait any longer. So we'll just get on the game. First map for today is going to be Nightshade. Actually, is Patience joining in? Oh, Patience is not here yet.
Yeah, I think he's AFK.
Yeah. Okay, he just joined like exactly right now, so we're getting finally ready to start things up. Well, first map was our choice actually, and well, I just didn't want the players to start off with something that would put any of them in a disadvantage, so I just wanted to get it started with
Nightshade.
Yeah, a bit of a very standard map, nothing too off the book. So I think the players will agree with me.
I agree. Especially lately, I feel like Terrans have been feeling pretty confident on Nightshade.
Yeah, I feel so too. Like it is becoming more and more a good Terran map, but I still think like I see a lot of Protoss players and Zero players perform quite good on this map as well. It is just, you know, this is a little bit of a Terran map pool. Like, let's all be honest here, right?
Let me guess, you're a Zerg player? Probably following Reyna as well?
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I mean, my whole interest is in casting, so... I mean, this is my favorite matchup to cast, and I'm a Zerg player, and that says a lot about me. So... Patience asked actually for a little bit of a pause, like 5 minutes, to get ready. So we're just going to wait a little bit before he comes back from his pause. So you were telling me before we started, that you were actually taking a look at some of Patience's replays. So how do you think he will come into this series?
Okay, so I took a look at his show match against Cure. And funnily enough, he has like 6 or 7 different build orders he performed during those matches. It went like 7 matches, I think, if not even 8. Yeah, it was 8 because one was a draw.
Oh.
And something that is pretty special for Patience, I feel like, is he likes to play more aggressively. He likes to dominate the game. Also, he's more the tech roulette kind of guy. He just gets through. He gets the tech, and then he decides how to solve the puzzle that is his opponent Terran.
He is that kind of player that usually starts off with a Templar Archives and then gets his robot just after. He likes to have those options available, and I see many of the Protoss players to just start getting their robot, then the robot bay, and then just start making 2 Colossi and then Disruptors, and then every single Protoss versus Terran a little bit looks the same. That was a little bit of an issue in in Trap versus TY that we had last week, and Trap wasn't quite evolving his playstyle and ended up losing 3 games in a row and losing the series against TY. But I feel like Patience is a little bit of a more unpredictable player on this factor. I would like him to go a little bit more offense target in this matchup, but I still feel like he's a very powerful Stalker player. Like, he is very good with Stalkers. And Dream, on the other hand, I feel like he struggles a little bit with the earlier game of this matchup. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they're going to perform. Of course, they are way more prepared than we think they are, because they've been knowing this series was going to be a thing for quite a lot of time. And of course, they came into this prepared. They played against each other so many times. And I feel like it's going to be a very close series, all considered.
I totally agree. Like, Dream, also one of those players, like, you have Maru and Innovation. Maru more the kind of guy to harass the Protoss and stretch them thin around their bases. Innovation more the kind of guy to go for that really quick and really strong timing, which he hits perfectly. Now Dream is the kind of guy, at least what I saw through his replays of the recent, I don't know, few matches, he's the kind of guy who just keeps on trading. He trades and trades and trades, and behind that his macro is perfect.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is very true. And is that kind of like, I feel like many players, and many Terran players especially, have this philosophy that it doesn't matter if you lose too much, if in the end you're able to remake what you lost. Like, it doesn't matter how many Marines die if you actually win the game. Like, it is not the kind of player, you know, that a disruption nova is about to come and he's going to have the sickest splits of his Marines and he's going to lose just 2 to the disruption nova. He's not that kind of player. He may look less flashy, but he's always going to have a very, very powerful army. So Patience is back. Dream is back as well. Guys are waiting just for us. And let's get into game 1. Oh man, I'm eager to do this. So I think they will start this a little bit slower. Like, they're not going to fret too much in this first game. But then again, being it a best of 9, it can also mean that they will try to sneak in a few victories in the earlier games and try not to lose them after cheesing later on. But let's get into the introductions. I'll start here in the top left hand corner, where the blue Protoss player has just spawned. Formerly known as Lucy, this is Patience. Wanna do the other player, my friend?
Sure. As a fellow Terran, I'm proud to introduce the red Terran player spawning in the bottom right corner. It is Dream.
Recently started playing for Bravestar Gaming himself. Lots of great players have decided to switch to Bravestar. We've seen Scarlet join the ranks. So actually a lot of excellent players are starting to change teams. Also Kaisi Gaming is having quite a rise. Of course, we have seen the creation of a Angel team where Chance and I think also Kalazur probably have started playing for them. We see Patience over here trying to scout for some proxy play for Dream that won't come. Do you think Dream will do a proxy in this series?
So I haven't seen Dream proxying.
Oh.
Okay. So I haven't seen Dream proxying anything in the replays I saw. But I think he's always capable of doing something like that.
I think you agree. I not really remember him trying to do for anything too aggressive in the early game these last few games. But yeah, it's something that we have to consider, right? It's not like it's something that we will never do. It's just like, even metagaming his opponent can be a possibility. Like maybe Dream comes into the series, well, Patience comes into the series thinking, what, Dream will not proxy me.
Oh, that was a cute dodge by Patience with his probe, going to get a nice scout, or at least some attention at the natural.
So will Dream for sure for his Reaper scouting. Yeah, that will try to get back on track. Of course, the Reaper will just get away. So will the probe. Everything will be pretty much standardized for the time being, and Patience can start his follow-up scouting, which
It's
will
going
actually
to be the
see
Twilight
something.
Council.
Yeah, I'm more curious to see what is going on Dream's side of the map, because
Oh,
this is
you're
a
right.
free Rex opener. Oh my, oh my. And things can get quite messy for both players. I really like this opener. These last few days I've seen it rise a little bit in popularity, and it's a really obnoxious one to deal with because a lot of production can come very early into the game. Blink Stalkers basically become useless, but it's also very vulnerable to some kind of very aggressive plays. So we will see how Dream will decide to play these out. Stalker on that will be shoot away, one of that will fall, so will two Marines, and the Stalker will just retreat back into safety. Blink on the way. Patience will just play the totally standard.
Moving forward there a little bit too aggressive, I feel like. Taking a lot of foul damage on those Stalkers.
Losing a Stalker to an alien is never a good feeling. But of course, like, this amount of production might already have put Patience a little bit on the careful side of the matchup. Like, you don't often see these many Marines being produced this early. Like, I think he's going to be very careful in the next few steps. He has a pylon, a little bit proxied over here to check for any possible medivac flying in. Or yes, two pylons, of course. But I don't think Dream will try to commit too much into aggression for the time being.
No, I think he's going to wait for Stim, Combat Shield, and maybe even +1. Though I'm not sure about that since there's no engineering bay on the way. So probably just a really strong tank Marine timing.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking. This could also lead him to try and get a very early third base, but he should have already started it if that was his plan. Patience will get his own third base in just a second, but he will get also the Robo Bay. Non-Templar Archives yet, so he will try to get to the standard Colossi, of course. A really powerful choice over here on Nightshade, but he will have to first deflect the push coming from Dream. Scouted
I feel like
perfectly with the Observer.
I feel like this is going to be a really strong timing for Cure, no? Like, he has a lot of Marines, he has 2 tanks, which obviously deal bonus damage to those Stalkers, and Patience at the moment with nothing else but his Stalkers is in a bit of a trouble.
Yeah, this pylon will also block the Immortal from being made. If he gets focused down, the Immortal stops his production right now. These Hulkers are getting a lot of punishment. The shield batteries will help keep them alive, but the contain is real. Bunkers are up. Lean forward by Patience, very bravely getting on top of everything. The Immortal is now out and will go down very fast to these Marines. Tanks getting on top of the Robo as well. And Patience has to retreat on the high ground.
Dream now finished his bunkers, which is actually a huge deal, because now he can just continue leapfrogging forward with his tanks and not be too afraid of the Stalkers blinking on his Marines and all of them dying instantly.
It is like a little bit off. Patience was walking with the Stalkers through the map. I don't know if he was just looking to catch reinforcements off guards. But now his Dark Shrine is a long way through. Robotics facility halfway through. I don't think he has enough. He's going to dive on top of the tanks with Blink. But these bunkers are just doing too much.
Keep in mind he has a warp gate proxied on the map. So the Dark Shrine has the potential to do a lot of damage.
With the tanks being down, actually this contain is not looking as scary as before, of course. This bunker will try to be finished just for salvage. Oh, or maybe not. Well, the bunker goes down immediately. On the other side, of course, will something happen? I think it is the case because Patience Dark Shrine is almost down. First Colossus is going to be out in just a second. Dream is reinforced in the location, but without tanks, well, just the one tank, I don't feel like he can really break through too quickly. Three Stalkers will blink into safety over here in the natural, while the rest of the army of Patience is getting on top of the tanks. The probes will need to be retreated as well, and here comes a very quick and through recall that will stop these Marines on their tracks. Patience, very good hold this far.
I agree, and as far as I can tell, oh, he just moved commanded into that tank. That must have hurt.
Yeah, that must have felt bad. Siege tank with 5 HPs. There is one Colossus out. No extended thermal.
Oh, the first DTs are in the base.
Oh my.
Let's see.
Starting to get a lot of damage. Finally a scam comes through. And a good surround will keep those Dark Temples from doing too much damage. Another one goes on the contain. But there is still one Dark Templar alive, ready to get some damage done. Missile turrets are going to be issued by Dream. Another scan. I think this was the last one available for Dream.
I think he still has one left. But
oh yeah, he still has one. Yes. He actually has two.
Huh? I'm just surprised he had those scans ready to use.
Yeah,
for me,
he was very thought through. Like, he was expecting some kind of play like this, and he kept his scans available, he kept his energy. And this continues looking worse by the minute. Dream is so well established on Patient side of the map. There are Colossi out, but Charge is not even halfway through. So is the extended Thermalance, and the Blink Stalker's amount has really collapsed right now.
And those tanks deal so much damage to those Colossi, zoning them and also applying that extra little bit of range to kill everything that is on the high ground. And that is when your Reaper wall really starts to hunt you.
This is becoming a disaster for Patience. A good ult is turning into something that no Protoss player would ever want to find himself in. Marines steaming in the natural. One Dark Templar trying to do its best to keep things going for Patience, but it will himself fall. And so will the Protoss player Dream. That's the first game of this series. And I have to say, I wasn't really looking forward to Dream being the aggressor in the matchup, but that was very well done by him. Incredibly strong push.
That was an interesting push indeed. Like, tank pushes have been kind of in and out of meta in the past 2 years, but I don't think I remember this one in particular. So
yeah, that never was something common, but yeah, it has been rising in popularity in the last few Terran versus Protoss matchups I've seen, especially on GSL. We're going to go on Eternal Empire for the next game. Pretty much what I was expecting. I wasn't really expecting Patience to choose this map, to be completely honest. While it can be a good Protoss map in the late game, it still is a very exploitable drop map. And Banshees are especially good over on Eternal Empire as well. So I think Dream will go for some kind of a Banshee play. That's at least my call. Players are ready. They're eager to start. And so are we. Let's get on Eternal Empire for game 2 of the series.
So you see Dream going that TY kind of route?
Yeah.
Where you get Banshees, you get Cloak, you maybe even get the Banshee speed and go into mech? Or do you wish...
I think if there is one good map in which Dream can play mech, it's Eternal Empire. But I still don't think it is going to be his thing. I think it's one kind of playstyle that still has to be figured out by both Protoss and Terran players, because it's something that only TY is right now able to perform at the best. So I don't know, I think he will just go for a couple Banshees and try to harass, but that's a very early call. Let's see what is going to happen over here on Eternal Empire. In the bottom left hand corner, you're looking at the base of the blue Protoss player. It is Patience.
And on the top right corner, it is the red Terran currently leading with 1-0. Dream. This map in particular is so amazing for Terran harassment due to all the dead airspace around the third, the main and the natural. You have so much space to hide your medivacs in, your Liberator, your cloaked Banshees, or in that case not even cloaked Banshees.
It's like, it's the dream drop map for Terran players. Like, it doesn't really get better than this as far as drop go. But I also like that the natural is very big, like it has a lot of ground to cover. So it's really tough for a Terran player to actually...
Oh, Patience. What are you doing?
That was his... Oh, that was his second pylon. I thought it was the third. Oh my, that's his second pylon being proxied.
Oh, do you think he's just doing that to get into Dream's head?
Yeah,
like,
I definitely think so.
Dream gets into Patience space and he's like, oh, one pylon, one is missing. What is being proxied?
Yeah, that is definitely what is happening right now. Dream also desperately looking for something with his Marine as of now. Even before getting in the base of his opponent, First Soldier is out. He's rallying through the map. Another small little move for Patience to trick Dream into thinking something is off. And this Reaper will start checking for anything weird going on. But yeah, so will the Marine, but basically nothing is really going on. Patience will just have a Twilight Council, and that's it. Blink, no big deal. Dream will instead start his first
I agree. I agree. Patience will probably just take a really quick third off of his little mind game there. And I think Dream should also start to notice that there's nothing really missing except that pylon. Because he saw the Twilight Council, so there's no Stargate that is being proxy.
Yeah, definitely. He also got two probes with just the Reaper. That's probably two probes too many for a Reaper to get. So Dream really starting to... Oh my god, this is so clever. An Oracle being hallucinated by Patience to trick Dream into thinking this is a Stargate play. I think I retreated the Oracle a little bit too late to... Actually, no, Dream is tricked into thinking this is an Oracle. He really committed into this. He's also getting a Raven for some defense. A Tech Lab next to the factory probably to start out a Cyclone. I think you're right. Patience just getting an early third base. And he's just got so much into the head of his opponent.
Yeah, I think Dream is mostly getting this Raven because he saw the Twilight Council. And I feel like he's still wondering if there is a Dark Shrine coming. Or if there is a Blink all-in coming. Just to get those observers or the Dark Templar, if there should anything be coming his way.
I think it's the right call, to be completely honest. You're never too careful. And I like also in that situation to go for the Banshee play we were talking about before. Because it's such a good way to keep something on the other side of the map without actually risking too much, and check when your opponent is actually going to be the aggressor. and it's a good way to keep scouting going.
And
get
there's
some
the
damage.
second factory and the third.
Oh,
So it
my
is going to be
God.
mech.
It is going to be mech indeed. I very much think that I underestimated the potential in different playstyles that Dream could have possibly offered, because it is going to be mech, and your call was so good before this game.
Okay, let's see when Patience finds out, because this is crucial for him. If he doesn't find out, he might go for the wrong unit composition, and especially if he goes for a really stalker-based composition, those tanks are going to wreck him.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a very early 4th base as well. I think he's going to start playing the Swarm Toss style, which can lead to a very, very weird situation, to be completely honest. As you were saying, getting too many Stalkers will not fare that good against this composition, but getting a good economy is still going to work in Patience's favor. Most Protoss players try to rush tech at this stage. He's really starting to get a lot of just gateway units and gateways. Oh
And
my
the
God,
5th
not
base started as well. He scouted it is mech with his observer in the main of Dream. Sneakily flew by on the right side of Dream's natural. And I'm just so happy seeing those two go at it in a huge macro game.
Bench is starting to get some work done. Stalker is going to be worked in over here to stop these benches from getting too much damage, but already 6 prods have gone down. Patience sits at 70 workers right now, a pretty good amount, but those benches can fly in at any moment when he's distracted and get a lot of damage on the other side. Magnified accelerator and lots of mech upgrades. Dream is getting his army big and strong for his next defenses.
The great thing about Eternal Empire is breaking a Terran or Protoss for that matter on 3 bases is so difficult, because the units can be placed just between the natural and the 3rd and will defend both ramps super nice.
The choke point next to the natural also doesn't really help. The fact that you have to climb up a ramp to get in the 3rd base, it's also pretty much a disaster with another choke point. Eternal Empire is just an overall incredibly good defensive map, and Dream will make sure that also his 4th base is going to be well defended once the Stalkers come, I hope, because that's his goal right now. Patience getting in the 4th base. There is a planetary on the making, but it's not done.
Oh, he might
yet.
get that command center. He's getting it.
Oh God, that's a lot of damage being dealt by Patience. Command center goes down, forced to restart Dream's economy, taking a very big hit. Patience, 87 workers right now. He's embracing the Swarm Toss style, and I hope we're going to see some disruptors very early, because he's going full Astrea right now.
Disruptor, or better, the robotics is done. Dark Shrine is on the way. We are just getting every tech available, and we are getting every base available just to overwhelm the Terran opponent with units.
This bench is, oh my God, a good anti-missile turret will get all of these Stalkers. They have to blink into safety. The damage is becoming out of control for Patience. Lots of Stalkers will fall down. A couple probes will die as well, but Patience has plenty to spare. Those benches not getting too much done right now. Just 3 probes.
Oh,
my God,
Patience
blink.
just blinked on top of that army. I'm not sure if that was a good choice, but I guess diminishing the tank count is always a good thing, especially if you're on, how many bases is this? 6?
Yes, it is 6.
Insane.
Stop the command center again. The tanks of Dream are far, far away. Those Stalkers can just out damage the Hellions and start to out micro the Cyclones without lock-ins. They will get so much damage.
Dream just sniped the observer so his Banshees can do the work of Terrans. And
These
that is
benches are so
destroying
many kills.
Stalkers.
10 kills on one, actually 12 kills on one, 3 kills on the other. These Banshees have single-handedly defeated the whole army of Patience this far. That's so many kills, but it's time for the Dark Templars apparently to start doing something. We see the first one getting ready to get into this 4th base of Dream. A missile turret will be up in just a second, and unlucky Dark Templar will just die.
I love the sound of Dark Templar dying.
Oh no, that's
This just
evil.
makes me so happy.
Well, I can really not agree with that. Like, I mean, if you're not a Protoss player, you don't really like playing against Dark Templars, but here comes the Stalkers on top of the Banshees. They're taking a little bit too much damage. The Zealots will get on top of these very nasty Cyclones, but too much damage is being dealt by the army of Dream.
Dream
more
is doing
Stalkers
this
coming.
fantastically.
Yeah.
But I also don't like the choice of Patience to not tag into Disruptors, to get those huge clumps of Cyclones and just kill them off in one attack.
I think that at least the most little thing that Disruptors can do is just make your opponent be very more careful about not threading a little bit too forward. So yeah, I would like him to go Disruptors a lot as well. Dream is getting a little bit of too strong economy. There is probably a turning point in which the army of Dream will become basically impossible to deal with for Patience, because it can replace these gas heavy units so quickly. Patience on the other hand, 104 workers, full on Swarm Toss play. He can lose basically whatever he wants. He has so much economy behind this. Here, Patience tries to dive in the natural, will only get a supply debit and a couple of evidence for his few Stalkers falling down right here. He's also going to commit a little bit more with the Zealots fighting in that choke point. I'm not too sure if that was the right choice. And Patience will just back off again, but he's currently also trying to get more damage on top of this planetary fortress, which will not fall. But the tanks cannot really say the same. Patience pulling his opponent apart right now. I wasn't really expecting this, but multi-pronged harassment is doing the trick. A lot of key units have fallen for Dream, and Patience can replace everything so quickly.
With those 7 bases by now,
Yeah.
he's just able to get so many units, and all his warp gates behind that are just doing their job really.
This Nexus over here is in real danger. Shadow Stride on top of these Cyclones, so much damage. 7 probes have fallen for these efforts, and the Nexus will probably still have to face some punishment, but on the other side, Patience is cutting off reinforcements. He can really lose that base. Dream cannot really lose too much. Probes being transferred, he still sits at 103 probes right now. That's so many workers. His economy is through the roof, and right now he's also on top of the production of his opponent.
That is the worst thing for Terran, and the worst situation to be in. If the Terran gets on top of your complete production line, you are in for a really bumpy ride.
So many workers falling down for Dream as well. And as I was saying, like, there was this moment in which Dream had 140 supply and Patience at slightly more than 100, but right now he has recovered so quickly. He can remake everything in just a blink of an eye, really. Those tanks are not going to do too much. They're going to keep the Stalkers at bay for a little while longer. But on the other side, 16 workers have fallen for Dream. And oh my.
I guess if you're at a worker count of 90, that is fine. I think Patience could get rid of some workers as well. 113 workers seems like a lot.
A little bit of a stretch, yeah. But oh, this planetary though, I don't think Dream can lose it. He won't lose it because Patience decided to completely ignore it and get once again on the army.
That was
It's
super risky, I feel
yeah.
like. If Patience is not on like a quadrillion workers and has a zillion bases, he's just going to lose his stalkers there, and that's going to do the trick for Dream to give him enough room to get back into this game.
Shadow Stride, Dark Templar's already getting a lot of job done, but Patience pulls the army on one side and blinks into the other. Yeah, it's so funny that Patience is maxed out and his army supply is 87. That's just so interesting.
Man.
These Stalkers getting a lot of damage, but so will the Widowmine just burned underneath them. But once again, Stalkers in the production, that's, as you were saying, never what you want to do as the Terran player.
Patience just really on top of his game, stretching the Terran thin, especially when the Terran is going for those mech compositions. You're pretty immobile if you're tank based, and if not, the Cyclones don't do that well in low numbers. You want to get those high numbers, and if you just keep on attacking everywhere, it's really hard to get the multitasking down.
Oh, I guess Patience did his homework. He watched enough TY games to know the Dark Templars with Shadow Stride completely destroy mech if you make 10 of them at a time with 120 workers available. Because as you were saying, 16 workers is fine to lose, but 30 more, the game is done. Dream agrees, and Patience is going to tie the score.
I will have to apologize to Patience because my criticism on him not getting any disruptors.
Yeah, we were wrong.
You don't need disruptors if your Dark Templar are just on top of those Cyclones. That was a genius move to just bait those Cyclones in and then jump on top of them and just kill them all.
Yeah, I was really not expecting this. It's not something you see every day. It's some kind of playstyle that I think should really get much more attention. Because as you were seeing, like, it's a deadly way to play the game. Like, Protoss players with more than 100 workers can replace their army like quicker than a Zerg player. Because they don't have to rely on larva. They just have so much warping cycles that it was just crazy, really. It was overproducing his opponent and just slowly killing, like, death of 1,000 cuts. That's what happened right here. We're going on Everdream. Once again, no surprises. Everdream, another great defensive map, but he can also hide some nasty scenarios, if I may say so.
Everdream is that map where proxies are super common. Cure tried to proxy a lot on Everdream. I feel like Dream is going to try that as well. And let's see how Patience deals with it. In his Cure games on Everdream, given that the second game was like 4 minutes of scouting a proxy, defending the proxy, and then Cure GGing out.
Yeah.
But the first match was Patience going for that Colossi tech, getting 3 Colossi out, and then the game just went haywire and everything just spiraled out of control into a base trade, which ended in a insane draw with both parties accepting the draw.
That was a very crazy game. But we will see if anything this crazy will happen over here. Spawning in the top right hand corner as the blue Protoss. It is Patience.
And spawning in the left bottom corner as the red Terran, it is Dream.
So guys, if you haven't already, just underneath the stream you can check the Match Arena link that you can use with the code that of course you can just copy and paste into the contribute section of Match Arena and add 50 cents to the prize pool for free with just 30 seconds of your time. I very much hope you will take the time to do this. I will show you how to do it just after this game, but we will appreciate this and the players will appreciate it even more since every single penny goes into their pockets. So make sure to take a little bit of time to help us with that. It's free and it makes a huge difference.
Patience here with no Nexus. I hope it's coming.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh,
God.
is it?
This is a proxy. And that's a very aggressive one. There is no reason for this pylon not to be an...
Oh!
Oh.
Oh! Dream just scouting it immediately. The cock block of the century.
Dream immediately got this proxy, not even the time to finish the pylon basically, and Patience will just have to rely on a macro game. Getting his Nexus right now, that one pylon will surely be sniped down by Dream sooner rather than later. Oh my.
I wonder what he was going to build there.
I think he was going to build what he is building right now. Well, and probably not actually. The Stargate wasn't really a good play. Oh.
What's this? Dream is asking.
Uh-huh.
Patience is like, I'm angry. Okay, let's see what angry Patience is able to accomplish.
So, Angry Patience going for a Stargate. He didn't really like being contained in game 1, and he has shown us in game 2. Right here, this proxy of course won't ever happen, but the Stargate is going to be a Phoenix first. Not really what I was expecting, but Dream doesn't really have a clue about what's happening right now.
It's not like that. What is it then? Oh man.
Oh, good scouting by Dream right now. Getting the Phoenix first, getting the Stargate, and also seeing that Patience was producing a second Phoenix. That's a lot of information coming for Dream.
So I wanted to say the response I have seen the most out of Dream against Stargate play, especially against Zaun, has been the really fast third CC before you get the second and the third barracks. But here he is proving me wrong again.
That's a lot of production. Like, he's getting Tech Lab next to the starport. I guess that is probably to get a Raven out. I don't think it's going to be any kind of Banshee play. But of course, getting a lot of Marines and maybe a missile turret in both bases is probably going to do the trick. Of course, like, there was this one time in which, I know it's a different matchup, but someone asked Cyril what he thought was the counter to Phoenixes, and he just answered, build more workers. So I guess that's an option.
I guess so. What you're trying to achieve with those Phoenix is you're trying to be safe, you're trying to get some damage done if this is possible at all, and you want to get the map control, right?
Yeah, definitely.
With even more workers, you're fine, because off of those Phoenix, he's not going to go for big timing attack unless he goes like, I don't know, stops at 3 Phoenix, starts 5 warp gates, and just goes haywire.
That's a dream situation. Like, a dream situation, not the player dream, like the dream, right? So sorry, but no pun intended, I swear. What did Patience see? Oh, okay. I think he saw the Marines and the push coming, because Dream not getting a third base. Things are looking spicy over here. Patience, of course, stopped at 4 Phoenixes. That's basically the 3 Phoenixes in this scenario. It's basically the moment in which you want to stop, but Dream, like, he didn't care at all. Like, everything Patience has done this game doesn't matter to Dream. He was just, I'm going to make 3 barracks, I'm going to get Steam, I'm going to get Concussive Shells, I'm going to get 2 Medivacs, and I'm going to kill you. That's all Dream is about right now.
That plan is good, but I think that this one Colossi boy might be enough to defend all of this.
This play for Dream, dropping into the main. The Phoenix is trying to get on top of the Medivacs, but there's just a little bit too much Terran over here in the main base of Dream. These Medivacs cannot boost away, not for the time being, and the Phoenixes are starting to get finally the value we were waiting for. One Medivac falls down on the other side. Dream will probably try to dive on top of the natural, but won't get anything done yet. The Colossus will fall down to the one Viking. But
I did not expect that Colossi to die from that Viking, especially since that Viking was super low to begin with.
Yeah, those are Phoenixes not really getting on top of the Vikings, preferring to get on top of the Medivacs. I guess that's a pretty good choice. Dream trying to get ahead of time, I think, with his push, but he's steaming forward. He's trying to get on top of the ramp. Guardian Shield doing a lot of job for Patience, as well as his one Colossus out. Extended Thermal Lens is done now, and that's when the real damage can begin. Dream realizes that we will just back off. Or maybe drop into the main
that
again.
Drop into the main. Nothing is there to defend that. And that might cause some damage. Maybe he gets some tech sniped. We'll see.
Well, the pylon down. Oh, look at this one. Widowmine almost got 3 sentries in one hit. Patience realized in time. Little bit of a supply block for the Protoss player, making 4 pylons at a time. He's finally starting to get his important upgrades charged. Last one armor. A Dream getting a third base and still standing on quite a healthy production as well. I don't feel like this game has gone either side too much. I think it has basically reset a little bit.
I'd say Dream is favored right now. If we look at the worker count, he's ahead by 11 workers. That should never be the case in the early to mid game. Protoss is usually the race that gets the early 3rd base, gets the early 4th base, gets a lot of probes, and then tries to get along with as few units as possible to get a lot of tech out and just to crush the Terran in the later stages of the mid game. This time around we saw Dream just putting a lot of pressure on Patience and forcing that 3rd to be super late.
The reaction
and with this
time
drop
from Dream to this Widowmine drop is crazy. His whole army is through the map, and he will just not lose a single probe. Well, actually just 2 probes to a Widowmine drop. The army of Patience may lack in numbers, but it doesn't really lack in tech. This is a powerful advanced army. Those Colossi are melting the army of Dream right now, but Patience losing a little bit back home as well. Those Widowmines stopping in on his track. SCVs caught into the fight as well. Those Colossi can start clumping up them numbers with the War Prism keeping it alive. Overall, Patience lost way too much to keep this from to keep Dream from growing too much. But Dream
just losing 16 SCVs and is still fine. He's up in workers, he's up in army. I wouldn't be surprised if he's up in upgrades as well. Even upgrades. But that is subject to change.
Yeah,
if you're asking
these
me.
Vikings really doing a lot of work right now. The War Prism trying to keep these Colossus alive. He's really not shooting too much. The Colossus not getting too much damage, I fear. It has 16 kills, yes, but most of them are SCVs. Meanwhile, Patience struggling to regrow.
Patience is basically all in. He's not building any probes. He's not getting any upgrades. If Dream manages to crush this, or if he just survives until his +2 is done, he's destined to win this.
Well, he was indeed destined to win. Dream gets game number 2 of the series. Going to see where the players are going for the next map, but before that time counts, I just wanna to take a little bit of time to give a shout out to one of our beautiful sponsors. This time I want to know, we had a little bit of an issue with the server while I was doing the shoutouts, but I guess we're back. So that was a little bit weird, probably due to being connected to the North American server. So, you know, I'm from Italy. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. I don't know what for, but let's just go on Simulacrum and give these guys the game they were looking for.
So Dream currently up 2-1, right?
Yes.
Amazing. Dream getting back into shape, getting those wins over equal or potentially better players.
Yeah, even in game 2, like I feel like there was just a mega mind play coming from Patience. It was just it was just an incredible game out of Patience. You cannot really blame Dream too much for not getting the game. It was just a very, very good game from Patience. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it was something so fresh, so unseen before. And
I feel like
I
feel like you're right. Patience made some amazing plays, just stretching Dream thin and attacking at multiple angles. But also I feel like Dream wasn't really used to that style.
Yeah.
Because when he tried to take that 4th base, he was a little bit too slow to move his army to protect it. And then the Patience just instantly bounced on that and killed that 4th base, and with it a lot of Dream's hopes.
We will see if the hopes of Dream will rise, or if it's time for the player spawning in the bottom right to get the score tied up again and maybe go on forward to win the series. This is Patience.
And the red Terran player currently leading 2-1 against Patience. It is none other than Dream.
So once again, I'm really sorry about the technical issues, but I hope everything is looking great now, because I can't wait to see what is going to be the plan of this game. Both players really jazzing it right now, doing so many different things, putting so many different play styles into action, and I'm so eager to see what they are going to do right here.
Okay, so this is already something.
Patience trying to
Patience in like 70% of the replays I watched of him versus Cure went for that fast Nexus and then the Cybernetics core. This game again, he's going for that Cybernetics core before taking the Nexus. Given that last match, he was kinda shaky on that proxy Stargate.
Well, he's getting a second gas way faster than he's supposed to. This is 100% going to be a Stargate play. With that, I agree with you, but is it going to be a proxy? I'm not too sure. Oh, wait, Dream? Oh, that's the bunker for the Reaper.
But isn't that a little bit too far away?
It could be. But, I mean, as long as the Reaper stays alive, I think Dream will be content with that. He sees the double gas being taken already, and Warpgate is on the way, so I don't think my Stargate call was that great after all. I don't think it's going to be Stargate yet, but it could be.
I think with that sentry, we are most likely looking at Robo or possibly Twilight.
It's just
There's
a
the
bug.
Twilight Council.
The SCV has died to sentries and stalkers, but yeah, this bunker was quite too far away for patients to care about, and yeah, the stalker is still there to keep this contained from being a thing. What did they say, by the way?
Patience was like, why are you doing this? This is so annoying.
Well, it is annoying for Dream as well. His Reaper has gone down. After good scouting though, seeing the Twilight Council, seeing the robotics facility, everything has been scouted for Dream, who's going to take his 2 Rexes and get to a standard stage of the game for him. Widowman drop again. I guess it has worked fine for him in the previous game, so why not do it again, right?
I'm super interested in this because if you remember, like 2 or 3 months ago, all the Terrans were going for those tank pushes, right?
Yeah.
For those bunker at the 3rd base tank, 6-8 Marines, maybe a drop or I don't know, some Banshees in the main or natural.
Yeah.
But that meta kind of shifted in the last few weeks. I've seen innovation doing stuff like those 3 Rex as well, and now Dream is basically going back to that style as well in almost every game. Those tank pushes really getting out of meta. Right now.
Yeah. Kind of out of fashion, like also the Cyclone start and everything that gets you a little bit safer in the early game. All of that stuff has got quite out of meta. Like Terran players are really starting to rely a little bit more on those kind of Widowmine drops and just medivac and bio style of harassment without really committing too much into all lanes and push timings at third base with tanks. But it is still going to be something not uncommon to see, right? It's still going to be a very good way to play the matchup. It's probably considered one of the most standard ways to play the matchup, but I do agree with you. It's something that it's seen less and less in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I feel like Protoss has just been getting better and better at defending those early aggression builds by Terran, and now you see the pendulum swinging back into this really timing-based style by Terran. You're going for combat shield, stim, and then +1, and then you're going to hit with 2 or 3 medivacs, and you're trying to hit as fast as possible, as hard as possible with this.
Yeah, and this command center being cancelled from Patience is already quite a big hit, I'd say. Dream having to restart it, he kind of needs to deal some damage with this. Of course, some damage is bound to be done. Oh, a little bit of lag. But Dream is getting right now in the natural of Patience.
Oh, he's getting on top of those Colossi. Nice force feeds though.
Through the roof. Dream wasn't able to break through, not even remotely. Those these Colossus will get a little bit of damage down, but the second one is already done. Patience needs to buy enough time for extended thermal lance to be through though. That's too much of an important upgrade in these scenarios.
Patience right now reminding me more and more of Stats playing super defensive and super safe styles, whereas usually you're used to him going like those freaky builds, like more of a budget kind of SOS.
Yeah, Patience is like the ultimate aggressor in, especially in this matchup actually. But Dream is really pinning him in his base. I guess Dream has become once more a very scary player to play against, because right now he's just getting on top of everything. This bio army will get severe losses, but 9 prods have gone down and everything is going awry for Patience right now. More medivacs going through the map. Dream really embracing the style of those few Terrans that have come back, such as Bomber or Deja. They are doing so well, and I hope he can do that great as well, because Dream right now looking strong and looking fresh.
Okay, let's see how he deals with this move out by Patience. Because 3 Colossi are a lot of damage. And if he's going for only 1 or 2 medivac drops, he might not have enough to actually force Patience back or kill the army.
Well, he decided to keep his whole army back home. I think that's, as you were saying, the best choice. Patience will just walk back home. I feel like this is also a good choice. Vikings production is starting to be something that Patience has to be careful about. And he is indeed starting to making disruptors.
I would have loved Patience to just stay a little bit longer, because he is taking his 4th base, and as long as you're keeping the Terran on his side of the map by pressuring, by having this soft contain, he's not going to push your 4th. And that's when you can get that one up and saturated and get like really comfortable with your position in this match.
It looks like he's still going to be the aggressor with this Warp Prism just outside of main base range. Oh, Dream has Vikings in range of it. I hope that Patience doesn't lose their Warp Prism to just those Vikings. Oh
my
Patience
god, he might,
oh.
He's losing it. Oh my god, he's losing it.
Oh,
and it's dead. Oh.
Dream has total map control right now, and with Shockwave EMP being done in just a little bit less than 30 seconds, Dream will have a very scary army to start and walk through the map, and Dream is exactly doing that.
Patience here going for those 3 Colossi again, and then just transitioning into 2 Robos, and from there on only Disruptor. I don't think he really wants to keep those Colossi actually. He's just counting on Dream overmaking on those Vikings. And then
really don't like him not having Archons right now. I think this will be the death of him. Like, Archons are too important in these cases. Not because of the Ghost interaction, of course. The Ghost interaction favors the...
pressure at the 4th, and then the drop in the main. The 4th fell, even though there were Dark Templar, and now it's back to the main.
The main will
that Ghost must be like, I didn't sign up for this.
Well, but a Shockwave EMP goes on top of the Nexus, and Shockwave EMP deals the finishing blow, basically, because, oh my god, Disruption Novas would get a lot of damage as well, but Dream...
Don't kill yourself.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a good tip.
Don't kill yourself.
That's a good tip, for sure. But Dream will just roll through
Dream just really...
So many
Patience.
So many disruptors, so many Liberators, I was saying, so much Dream. 3-1
He was just on top of Patience. He pulled him to the 4th. Patience didn't manage to get there in time. Then he dropped in the main, and all of this just to accomplish the goal of getting all the army of Patience out of the way at the 3rd base to get this nice siege position for those Liberators.
It was just... like, Dream is playing so good right now. Like, I'm super impressed. And as you were saying, like, the thing that is impressing me the most is that a player such as Patience, who's widely known as an incredibly aggressive player, and is just constantly pinned on his own side of the map, getting the Warp Priest sniped, getting every single bit of harassment dealt with just basically immediately aside from game 2. Dream is just not letting Patience play his game. He's just setting up his rules and is making Patience play at Dream's rules. And
so Patience in the chat already asking, are we going to play all of those ladder maps today? And Dream answering with, Yeah, probably. It
Well,
looks like that.
so he thinks if so basically Dream thinks he's not going to win the next 2 games, right? We will see.
We'll see. Golden Wall, a
Yeah.
map where Protoss can be super annoying, especially if you blink over those mineral patches at the main. I feel like that is a good thing to do, and not enough players are really using that one.
You guys are ready? Let's see if Patience is able to shorten the distance with his opponent right now, because this is looking incredibly rough. As you were saying, it is a good way to play very aggressive for the Protoss player, but I still feel like once the Terran gets on the golden base and starts mining from the golden base, it suddenly becomes so hard for the Protoss player to actually do something. And I think you as a Terran player probably agree with me that it's a very tough map to play a macro game against Protoss.
I feel like those high grounds in the middle, like at the gold bases, make it super hard to actually engage onto the armies that are sieging there. But at the same time, if you're not paying attention in the later stages of TVP and those disruptor shots get on top of your army, you are in for a really bad time.
Yeah, a Terran versus Protoss late game can literally end in a second if you're not careful enough. It's a very volatile matchup, and that's also why I like it so much, because it's very flashy. But we will see what is going to happen right here. Let's start with the introductions. In the bottom right hand corner, spawning as the blue Protoss player, currently 2 points behind in its best of 9 series. This is Patience.
And now over to the left side, the red spawning Terran, none other than Dream.
Okay, Patience is sending a second probe through, and oh my. Okay, he's just expanding in the golden base, because why not, right?
I love this.
Well, he chose this map, he must have something in mind. Like, as the Protoss player, you're taking the golden base because you want to have a lot of minerals to do something. What is Patience going to do right now?
I agree. As soon as the cybernetics core finishes, I hope we're seeing a Stargate.
Well, Warp Gate didn't start, so there is probably a very good possibility this is going to be a Stargate play. No Warp Gate yet.
Yeah, he's going up for that 150 gas.
Well, Dream saw the golden base.
There's the Stargate.
And let's see if he sees the Stargate as well. Oh, yeah, perfect scouting for Dream. He knows everything that's going on all sides of the map. Once again, I also want to point this out. Dream scouting has really impressed me. I think I've said every single game that Dream has scouted everything that was to scout. And I think that's the case, right? Dream scouting has been incredibly good these games.
I totally agree. He has been just on top of Patience build orders. He knew everything, and he made the right choices, judging by his lead.
Patience right now recalling a bunch of probes over here at the golden base, because why not? But that's also something that can make him quite vulnerable. I like him going Stargate because that's the most mobile map control style of Protoss. But it's not going to be easy to keep hold of that base if Dream decides to go for something aggressive, or if Patience doesn't outright end the game with just a mineral-based army.
I feel like that recall was kind of not necessary, because he just spent 50 gas on that recall. He could have spent it to Chrono Boost on the Stargate to get that Oracle out even faster. And Dream knew about the gold base. He scouted it with his Reaper. So I don't see why you don't just
I think
transfer.
Patience didn't actually get that base was scouted. I think that's the whole point, really. But yeah, I'm not saying it's a good point. I'm just saying that it is his point.
Okay, let's see. Phoenix coming. I feel like this is going to be his charge build. He has like a build where he goes for 5 Phoenix, gets a bunch of gateways, charge, and then tries to kill the Terran.
Yeah, that's a pretty straightforward way to play the matchup, but it's always a good thing. Like, Zealots are good units. Once you have a very expendable mineral income, it's not like you have really a single carry in the world for those Zealots. And Dream is just playing the standard style of this matchup as well. He's only now going to get the first tank with 5 gateways on the way. This could be just the usual explosion of gateways that the Protoss players have. But I feel like I agree with you. This is going to be at least a powerful timing with Zealots in just a little bit. Phoenix is clamping up right now. Total of 2, a third one on the way, 2 Oracles already out. Patience getting a lot of map control for once in this series.
Of course, with that Stargate tech, you are in for a lot of map control, but you cannot lose any of those units.
Yeah, I really agree with you, especially at a certain point the Phoenixes become so important. Lifting those tanks, getting the Medivacs, keeping the Vikings at bay, every single thing those Phoenixes do is going to be incredibly important, especially if Patience wants to be the aggressor with Zealots right now. Because those tanks can just melt him down. Armory is on the way as well as Templar Archives. And what is going to be the plan of Patience from now on?
I'm guessing he's going to go for that charge with Archons. He's just going to charge in there, but he has to be careful not to die by drops.
Well,
because Dream is getting ready for something big. He has also been hiding those tanks and some Marines. So I think he's really looking forward to a big push.
Patience got a good hold of what was happening right now. Of course, he has chosen probably the worst possible base on the map to try and follow these Medivacs because of the cliff. But yeah, Patience fighting in a good spot right now. Those Marines are widespread and Zealots can just charge on top of everything. The fight was going well for Dream just until those Zealots started connecting. Something is going on right here and it's not good for Dream. Zealots have to retreat back to safety, but so many Phoenixes are out. One Oracle has died in the fight, but this tank will not survive for a lot of time. Zealots getting on top of it. I'm surprised we didn't see it being lifted actually. That was probably a big misplay, if I may say so. Not a charge.
I feel like Patience is just going to roll over Dream here. This is not looking good. SCVs fighting against Zealots.
I think the SCV pool was way too late. Like, having SCVs into this kind of timing would have probably been way more deadly than just sending them back into for defense. These Phoenixes though, so much has been dealt by them. And
they are just lifting everything.
Yeah.
Tanks, Widow Mines, especially lifting those Widow Mines is crucial against that Zealot heavy composition.
And at a certain point I've also seen like Patience, whatever, I'm gonna lift a couple Marines as well because he has so many Phoenixes, he can do whatever he wants with that. This Medivac is looking not good.
Yesterday when I was looking through Patience replays, I saw this exact build. The exact build. He played it on Purity though.
Oh, I see a point for playing it on Purity.
Purity has this gold base, right?
Yeah.
So I was wondering if he is going to play it on Golden Wall, and turns out he actually does.
So, I mean, there's plenty of good reasons to play this style. It's just so oppressive. I think like it's very hard for the Terran player to actually deal with it. Okay, we see him Ghost with probably Shockwave coming in a little bit as well. I think that's a very good choice. And these Marines are going to get some damage here at the Golden Base. But it's not like Patience isn't like having a strong, powerful army to deal with this. If Patience decides to go through the map right now, I think he can just roll through. Of course, Liberators are a big if, because you have to get a perfect fight with Phoenixes, and the Phoenix count is getting lower for Patience, I feel like.
Yes, he hasn't been adding any into the mix. He just lost 2, I think, to the 8 Marine drop. And funnily enough, this time around he's starting to add disruptors. On Purity and Industry, he did not add disruptors. He just stayed on his Zealot Archon. On the other hand, this time around, they might be really useful against those clumps of units.
That's a lot of Terran walking through the map. A lot of SCVs pulled into the fight. Liberators not sieged up. That's going to be the most important thing. Crazy good Shockwave on top of the army of Patience. One shield battery won't be able to keep them all healthy again. Oracle under attack as well. These Phoenixes really need to get on top of the Liberators before anything can be dealt. And another great Shockwave EMP gets on top of Archons and Zealots alike. These Phoenixes really trying to get the Liberators down. One of them actually falls, but the tanks are sieging up on the other side. Zealots run by, gets 8 SCVs. But what can Patience do right now? Dream is getting more and more ahead. Of course, the production out of Patience, the defender's advantage is really going to kick in Dream as what he will ever have as of now, I feel. He will not replace these units. Tanks clumping up a little bit too much. One good Disruption Nova gets a bunch of health out of those. But Dream is just getting more and more forward. This one Liberator sieging up just outside tank range. And this 4th base out of Patience is in trouble right now.
Patience is engaging!
Protoss player is committing Phoenixes, lifting tanks left and right. And it looks like Dream is going to be defeated. Disruptors getting too much damage, as well as Phoenixes. Patience backing off just now, but just for safety, because this is a disastrous fight for Dream. All tanks, all Liberators have gone down, and so many Archons, so many Zealots getting on top of the Bio Army. GG gets called, and Patience gets game number 5 of the series.
Basically, what Patience had to do there was just defend. He could lose that base up there. That was no problem for him. He was so ahead in workers and in bases. He could have just lost that base, sacrificed it, taken the better position for the fight, and that's what he did, basically.
Yeah, it was just not too much of a difficult hold, but then again, I feel like Dream was just like, he was probably forced to do something. He was kept on 2 bases for such a long time, and yeah, at that point you have to work with what you have, and Dream didn't have a lot to work with, really.
No, not really.
So we're going on Zen. It's Dream's choice. I've seen a lot of Terran players get better and better at this map, and it's really a good thing, but it's also a very, very strange map in which so many strange things can happen. Players are ready. Let's get back into one more game. It's going to be the game number 6. Score is 3-2 in favor of Dream, but Patience is striking back.
The thing with Zen is it is good for drop play by Terrans, but it is also insanely good for Blink.
Yeah, that's true. It's also a good like proxies target map. A lot of good proxies can be made on this map for sure. But
I
we will
agree.
see.
I 100% agree. And Patience, what are you doing? You don't even have a pylon yet.
Okay, let's do the introductions fast because this is getting wild already. Spawning in the top right hand corner as the blue Protoss player, this is Patience.
And spawning in the left bottom corner as the red Terran, it is Dream. So I have seen Patience go for those weird scouting timings. Okay, never mind. It's
Nope.
for the proxy gate. I'm
yeah.
calling it right now. It's a proxy gate, and he tries to go for like
The command
some
center,
blink
right?
timing.
I think it will just try to go for the command center and then follow up with a timing if he's able to cancel it and force Dream on the high ground. But
Proxy gate.
the gate is here. Probably another one will be added back on once the 780 score starts as well. Patience will go for his scout. Dream will probably not see anything up as well.
He might know by the direction the probe came out of, because his SCV didn't cross paths with it right through the middle. So if you sent that probe through the middle, it should hit there, but it came from that angle where you could know, okay, what was your probe doing there?
Dream's Reaper will actually go immediately into the proxy. He will start.
He's so good.
Like,
I love it.
yeah,
I'm wondering what he's going to do now. Do you cancel the command center, or do you just pray that it gets done?
I think he.
Oh my god, that was so cute. That block on the bunker, just delaying it a little bit so
that was crazy good.
Can...
Putting SCVs into the fight is a very good choice for Dream, but Patience gonna send another Stalker through the map. He needs to keep this one alive though. He cannot really lose it. Oh my... The command center will not be cancelled that here. And yeah, the play of Patience is suddenly looking a lot weaker.
I feel like Patience micro was a little bit off. The Marine there survived just a tick longer than it had to. And with the Marine gun earlier, I feel like he could have made a lot more out of this. But still, he's denying mining. His own Nexus has just been started. Oh, he lost that Stalker.
Yeah, he is a little bit sleeping off right now. I think he's going to lose all of them right now. Oh, another Marine falls down. The Reaper barely survives. Marine cuts out from the bunker, but the Widowmine...
That was so sweet as well.
Yeah.
I'm just admiring those two players micro, because I know I cannot do this.
Yeah, definitely. I know the feeling. Like, we will try to be as good as them, but sometimes
we're just
can't, right?
your average Joe on the ladder fighting for those points.
Yeah. Twilight Council is the play of Patience. It will probably not turn into some kind of insanely aggressive timing attack. He's going to get a fur base as well. But Dream, on the other hand...
Does he have a starport?
Yes,
yeah,
he has a starport and he's already has a medivac out. He's already making tanks. Double racks production. He doesn't really care. Once again, Dream has a plan in his mind of how to play his game, and he doesn't really get distracted by Patience. Whatever Patience does, it won't put Dream off of his game plan, which has been kind of a step back in game 2 and probably game 5 as well. But every single other game he has won, he has done thanks to his way of stubbornly playing the matchup.
I love this Widowmine micro, just delaying mining as long as possible.
That's a lot of lost mining time for Patience, who's really falling behind in supply. Dream probably preparing for some kind of attack, and the scouting out of Dream. This time, will he see the Dark Shrine? Oh yeah, he did see the Dark Shrine. Okay. So yeah, once again, Dream knows exactly what is going on. And the scouting of Dream, like, this guy really should make some classes about how to scout a Protoss player, because he is always seeing everything. Both proxies being scouted immediately, he's scouting every single tech, Dark Shrine, Tala Council's target, whatever. Patience drops down, Dream scouts it. And I just
the amazing thing about Dream is how he manages to keep his Reaper alive no matter what, and that he keeps his Medivac and Widowmine drop alive so long, because not only do you get scouting through this Medivac drop, you are also forcing the Protoss to stay at home and defend those drops with Stalkers.
Patience really not losing too much to a Widowmine drop that he wasn't really looking at. Dream not microing his Widowmine perfectly there, getting only two probes killed. Still is looking quite mighty fine, I'd say. That much delayed mining time out of Patience is a weird build order, is really paying off in favor of Dream. Of course, this one Dark Templar will not do too much besides stop these two Rexes, and more damage on the other side.
I think Dream just tried to disable that Warp Prism to get that DT.
That would have been a great play, but I feel like the Raven is such a good unit for multiple purposes. Like, there's not really a reason Dream shouldn't get it in this matchup. These Archon over here trying to get in the clamped up mineral lines, but Patience knows it's a scary point to be. And this
5 probes falling.
Jesus. I've seen
like
it.
I told you.
Yeah, it has gotten 15 probes this far, I think. No, 13 probes this far. That's a lot of probes for one single Widowmine, right?
Dream just on point with his Medivac control there. He knows where the Stalker is going to be and where he can drop. And when he drops... Oh my god!
That's so much
He
damage.
drops... GG.
Oh... That must have hurt so much, like... it's hurting my feelings, right? Like, I'm getting... like in the shoes of Patience right now, and it hurts to be him right now. Losing that
that feels so good to be to be Dream.
Oh my.
That's so amazing.
Oh my god.
What I was about to say is Dream drops Widow Mines everywhere.
Yep.
And just gets that little bit of damage in every time.
Well,
okay, Patience is like, on that last map, if your scout didn't come, it would have not been like this. And then he asks, what's the next one? And that's Purity.
Yeah, last map standing. Then it's going to be Loser's Peak. If Patience is able to win this and bring it to game 8, all maps are going to be open again. Right now, score is 4-2 in favor of Dream. So, once again, before starting another game, I want to talk a little bit more again about the beautiful sponsor that is making all of this possible. Of course, I'm talking about G Fuel. Crazy good energy drinks, tasty, really providing top streamers and top players their dose of energy before their long session of tournaments, streams, and whatever, ramping up your energy from 0 to 100 incredibly quick, sharpening your focus and making so that you can keep your eye on the prize. If you're looking for any way to increase your endurance, to make your nerves steel material, then look no further than G Fuel energy drinks, because other than being extremely tasty, they're just that good at keeping you focused on your tasks. But Of course, the players are ready. Just going to swap myself with Dream real fast to get into this game number 7. And man, I always wait so much to cast this map because I love this map so much. For whenever a Zerg player doesn't play in here, it feels like this map has insanely wide possibilities. It's just a well thought out map. It's just a good map. It's just a good map.
I'm so surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
I always hear this is the most Terran map ever designed. We hate this map because it's so Terran. You have so much drop space. We hate it.
It is an insanely good Terra map. Let's all be honest. That's the like just the fact that you can wall off the low ground with 2 Rex and a supply depot is just nuts. But even it being a Terra map doesn't necessarily mean like this map doesn't have purpose. Like honestly, the only problem with this map is this point over here. Like if you go to my camera, you will see like these between the main natural and fur base. This point over here, this is a disaster. That's something that should never be in any map in any ladder pool. But aside from this thing, this map is incredibly good. If it weren't for that thing over there. But let's get into the introductions. It doesn't really matter for Protoss players, so we will just start with the introductions. Spawning in the Purity side of Purity and Industry, top left hand side. This is the blue Protoss, 1 game away from losing the series. It is Patience.
And spawning in the 3 o'clock position as the red Terran, it is Dream. And Dream right now up 4-2, if I'm not
You're not mistaken.
failing my math.
If he wins this, he's winning it all. Well, I have this little in-joke with another one of the co-casters of our flags, and every time I've been casting a Terran player with him, he's always been spawned in the bottom right hand side, and it's the industry side where these waves are being drawn on the ground, and that's just like crazy luck that every Terran player spawns here and all other races spawn on the other side. Like literally every second, every damn time. Like I'm not sure why.
That cannot be an accident.
Yeah, but like if it is up to like 10 times in a row a Terran player spawns in the bottom right, oh, come on.
Oh, that Reaper almost gets in again.
Yeah.
Dream just so cheeky with his Reaper movement. Why not?
We've seen also in the last game where Dream was keeping, not in the last game, sorry, on Golden Wolf, where Dream was keeping his Reaper alive for so long. Oh, he won't keep it alive this time. Oh my god. Yeah, it is trapped.
It's dead. That's super sad though, because earlier he had the chance to go into the main base, but he decided not to, which is super interesting to me, and I feel like it's the smarter thing to do, because you keep it alive to keep that stalker at home, and also to have that possibility of scouting a little later when there's additional tag, when the third nexus should be coming up. And that Hellion almost got in.
Yeah, you won't get too much scouting. Hellions are just too squishy for it to be done. I feel that like seeing the second Stalker though is just always going to be a confirmation that it is going to be just a Twilight Council play. It's not like Dream is expecting anything different. It's not like he's changing his plan. As we have been saying for the past few games, Dream is playing his game and is making Patience play his game. It's not like really bothering too much with what Patience is trying to make work in his games, because Dream is just setting up his rules, and I think he will do this game as well. He's just being so proactive, so much the aggressor, getting 2 probes, actually 3 probes, thanks to the Hellion.
Oh my god, 2 shots more by that Hellion. and we are looking at a barbecue.
Yeah, but I mean, it won't happen. Let's all be honest. I've seen games end like at this stage because 6 aliens get into your base and 18 probes die. But yeah,
Okay,
patience.
so I was wondering why Patience got those 2 gases so early, but now it makes sense since he got the robotics.
Probably,
I just feel like the robotics was a little late. It could have been started earlier.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah, I also have the same feeling. Like, I think Dream once again really pulling his attention away from his own macro. But also probably Patience was trying to get another observer out. Like, how many does he have right now? Yeah, he has 3. He has 3. Yeah, he was trying to get another observer out before dropping the robotics bay. To get one immortal, it makes sense. It can make
Yeah, the
sense.
similar thing happened against Cure when they squared off on Eternal Empire, where Patience went for this 5-minute robotics, and I'm just confused why you would wait that long.
He's also not really going to start extender formulans yet. Yeah, he starts immediately after I said that, okay, of course.
You know, that's the caster's curse.
Yeah, I just gotta embrace it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Players just going for those calls. They have that 6th sense where they just hear you say something through,
Yeah.
I don't know, 12 million kilometers of distance.
Yeah, it's probably their announcer, you know, that all pro players have a secret announcer that just tells them what the casters are saying.
Yeah. Oh, he made a call. Make something different now.
Yeah, exactly. That is the moment. Please do it. But
Some little has sitting in their ear, telling them, he said Colossi, go for Disruptor.
Yeah, exactly. They have to make us sound stupid. It's their job, like. But Dream's job right now, apparently, is to make Patience life hell, because that's a lot of Terran going through the map, and 3 medivacs on Purity and Industry are probably the worst thing possible existing.
This one reminds me a lot of what we saw in Everdream, where Dream just had this huge count of Widow Mines and Bioforce, and he was trying to get everywhere where he could get like a tiny bit of damage to just disrupt Patience flow enough.
Yeah, and I also feel like that was probably the best game Dream played in this series, so if he's able to reproduce that style, it's surely going to win even harder, because Everdream is way easier to defend on than Purity and Industry. Purity and Industry requires you to be proactive, and Patience has not been doing anything with his Blink Stalkers, probably all series, and that's not what I like him to do.
I feel like he's defending alright.
Yeah.
What we said on Everdream was that his army was kind of unluckily positioned, because the Terran army would just leave the natural alone where all the units of Patience were and kill everything at the 3rd base, basically forcing Patience to do that all in.
3 Widow Mines just killed 10 probes, by the way.
Never mind.
Just underneath a photon cannon as well. That's the king of the feels Batman moments. Like 10 probes gone down, and the Medivac is still there, ready to hit at any moment now. Dream can really pull the army of Patience apart.
He's going for the natural. He's going for the natural. There's one cannon. One cannon might not be enough.
Will he pull it in time? Oh, okay. Good save by Dream.
Oh, that one still got a hit.
He's gonna get 2 probes over here in the main. Widowmine gets another 2. Overall, 14 probes with 3 Widowmines. I feel like it is way more than worth it. Dream 30 supply ahead. Only 3 workers behind. Getting the Ghost Academy, Dream is getting everything right once more. But Patience has
You know what? there's a saying, when behind.
Dark Shrine. Here it comes for Patience. Well, we've seen him play Dark Templars in quite a unique style this series. So if he pulls it out again, well, it's going to be an exciting game. But I think Patience has Shockwave EMP already on the way, and that's a gigantic counter to Dark Templars.
I agree. Everything around the Ghost tech right now is just perfect for Dream.
Yeah.
If he gets up that Ghost count, if he might even get like 5 to 8-ish Vikings, he's able to kill those Colossi instantly, and what's left is Stalkers and Sentries. You're not going to be lucky.
Nope. Well, plus
With
3
that.
ground weapons on the way for Patience. If Dream doesn't really start to strike right now, he's going to be at a heavy upgrade disadvantage. But Dream almost maxed out. I feel like it is not going to be too long before he starts doing something with his army. Patience getting a healthy amount of disruptors, already sitting at 3, but he still needs to spread his army into different sides, and it's never what you want to do as a Protoss player. He's right now clumping it, but yeah.
What I love about Patience play right now is the speed for the Warp Prism. Because now he has some potential to do some big warp-ins in the production of Dream, or just disturb Dream's macro enough, then he can get a good fight where he catches all of the Vikings with his Stalkers.
Well, he catches all of the Vikings, but that one EMP got at least 12 Stalkers pinned into their health instead of shields. Patience maxed out as well as Dream. We're looking at a big, long macro game, I feel like, because both players really don't want to lose it. Patience moving out, of course, he has the micro advantage on the army, so he can really unmicro his opponent. But if Ghost gets some good EMP, that is going to be a disaster. Destruction Nova, number 1, will whiff. But there are 2 more to go for Patience, who will just retreat for the time being.
I'm super interested because Patience does this a lot, where he goes for armor upgrades first, and then like +1 armor, and then he gets the shield upgrade.
Yeah, but getting the shield upgrade against Shockwave EMP is that a Mega Mind thing that I'm not understanding? Because I feel like it's not going to be good.
That's the same thing I was asking myself. Because he did this on Eternal Empire against Cure as well.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Oh, big drop into the main.
Dream. Patience will have to recall over here. There is one disruptor, but he won't.
Oh my god.
Oh my
god.
Oh, that's so much damage. 30 supply plummeting for Dream. One disruptor. Well more than paying off for himself. And this Widowmine drop turned suddenly into disaster. Dream 30 supply behind, and Patience quickly replacing the lost army over here in the 5th base of the Protoss player. A lot of damage will go through. Perfect shockwave. The Colossus will go down, but
there are no Colossi left, and the disruptor shots are out as well. Now the Zealots are bound to fall, but the reinforcements come just in the nick of time.
Both players basically losing a lot, but Dream losing way more. Dream losing almost all of his own army, and Patience almost maxed out again, ready to move out. +3/+3 on the way for Dream, and once again I feel like upgrades paid a really big price for Dream right now. If he had a little bit quicker upgrades, I feel like this would have been a different
drop
game.
at the 4th.
The drop at the 4th will get a little bit of damage. 6 bros will fall down. Dark Templars Shadow Stride in and get everything killed. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, misses.
That was so close.
The Disruption Nova, the Disruptor gets sniped before he can get any damage through. Dream is quite a lot behind right now, but he is getting what he needs to win this game. He just needs to get some damage, because I feel like he's a little bit on a timer right now without nukes to actually make him come back into this game. These Zealots will kill a couple of ghosts actually before going down. That's not too bad.
for Dream, that is something super dangerous right now. In the fight at the 5th of Patience we watched earlier, he lost all of his tech units. All the Ghosts, all the Medivacs, all the Vikings, and this needs time to rebuild. And right now, Patience is like, okay, I know you lost all your Vikings and Medivacs. You're just going to build Medivacs out of those starports. So I'm going back into Colossi.
Dream really trying to buy enough time for himself, but Patience has a healthy amount of army units well spread in between all of his bases. So
that hurts.
Yep.
Losing Ghosts always hurts.
Dream really trying his best to get back into his game, but he's losing so many Medivacs. He's right now only 3 Medivacs, 3 Vikings. And how many Ghosts? It's just 1 Ghost.
Oh, the Warp Prism got into the main. Warp Prism in the main. Massive warp incoming. Okay, oh, just a small one.
The Ghost Shockwave will lower the health of these Zealots, but still a lot of units need to be used over there. Meanwhile, Patience, full army in the first base of Dream. And so much is falling left and right. Disruption or will whiff, but the army of Dream cannot engage.
No, Dream's army caught completely out of position, and Patience just moving perfectly, distracting in the main, maybe even at the 4th, and then going into the 3rd with his whole army. And if you get this position with all those disruptors, you are in for a good time, because the Terran is not able to engage into you.
Patience playing the kind of game I was waiting for him to play. I was really looking forward for his good play style to show up. It is something very unique. Even though those are all standard units for pro players, the way he plays, the way he sharks around for damage, the way he doesn't really commit while still being the aggressor is something quite unique in this game.
There was a Dark Templar. I just want to mention him because he was a brave man. He killed a Ghost.
Oh my, and those Dark Templars are killing way more than a Ghost. This Planetary Fortress, barely surviving.
Oh my god!
Oh.
If he had just killed the turret from the beginning,
yeah, that would have been way
his
better.
fate.
But of course, Patience.
Oh, zoning new coming in has been cancelled.
Oh, the Ghosts fall down to 1 Colossus, and Dream's army once again deflected. Even though Shockwave EMPs were great, these Vikings will get the last Colossus down. But what is left for Dream is not enough. I feel like Patience reconstructing his army 2 Colossi at a time. Dream has the defender's advantage to stay in this game for a little while longer, but Patience snowballing hard into this game. 12 more Zealots being worked in, and that's going to be a rough spot.
Patience, Dark Templar, they're just doing so much work in those fights, because Dream is just not scanning, and then 5 High Templars, Dark Templars can just take out complete armies.
The EMPs have been very good for Dream, but they're still not enough right now. Patience just has way too much army of K. The army of Patience is caught in a little bit of a tough spot. Dream will get a couple kills. Not before Patience can get a Ghost killed as well.
I feel like this is going to be super hard for Patience to break still. Because his army is so Zealot heavy, he's subject to getting kited, and he has to be super careful with his disruptor shots. Because if he is not careful enough, and that's what he's doing, killing his own Zealots for that free supply.
Well, I still feel like he pretty much got his game in the bag. He just needs to spread his efforts onto different sides. Of course, I would like him to do way more with these disruptors. He's starting to get some damage. This one command center will survive. Who cannot stay the missile turret. But Dream doesn't have what it takes to stop him on 2 different fronts.
Oh my god, Patience setting up a massive Dark Templar blink. I can feel it.
That's so many Dark Templars. Dream, meanwhile, trying to do his best to keep Patience on his own side of the map.
Dark Templar's going in. The turret just finishes in the nick of time, but will it be enough? Should not be.
Oh, the EMP was great, getting a lot of shields. Those ghosts are out of energy right now. Turning into Archon, the Dark Templars. Good move by Patience, who right now has so much army here at the third base. GG is soon to call because Dream cannot hold this. Even though his EMPs have been great, Patience will get game number 7.
Oh my god, we're in for the best of 9, I feel like.
Oh, I hope so. Patience needs to win 2 more in a row, while Dream just needs the 1. Let's see. Next map. Oh. Dream can choose any map right now. And he chooses Zen. Because why not, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was Patience choice? No, Dream has chosen Zen also the first time we played it, right?
Yes, I think he did.
Yeah. So, both his choices have been Zen. That is interesting. I mean, he won the game on Zen, and he won it pretty hard.
Okay, Patience is going on the toilet right now.
Okay.
He has just been repeating the score 3-4, and Dream is is saying that this series is really tiring.
Well, it has been a tiring series for them, I feel like. It's also pretty late in Korea. I think like it's 10 p.m. right now in Korea. I'm not super sure. But, well, we're gonna give Patience a little bit of time. It has been pretty lucky that you're here to translate Korean, because otherwise they wouldn't have told me that Patience was taking a break, and I would have just started the game. But yeah, we're just going to wait a second. Oh, it's only 7 p.m. in Korea. Okay, I'm looking like a fool right now. But, well, it's still not super early, and 2 hours of StarCraft in a row against such a good player. Well, not super easy. Patience is back. We're ready to go. Here, game number 8 on Zen. Let's go. I'm terrible with time zones. I'm just terrible with time.
Oh, just a little bit of stretching.
Yeah. After 2 hours, we also need a... I've had this bottle of water just right here to my left, like right here, and I never drank a single drop of it. I will probably just chug it all down in a second.
I've been the complete opposite. My bottle is empty.
Okay. I wish mine was by now. But let's get into this game. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Zen. You're looking at the base of the blue Protoss. This is Patience.
And spawning in the right top corner, the red Terran, currently leading with 4-3. It is Dream.
Those guys have so much.
So Patience is really not feeling purity right now. He's just really upset with those drops.
Well, he can be upset all he wants. He still got like 30 kills with 1 Disruptor and 1 King, so...
He's like, you get 2 dropships in with like 14 units and you win the game.
That's not what happened, but I don't know, maybe Patience live in a parallel universe in which Dream won that game and the score is opposite, but I don't know.
We'll see.
Chose this map, and choosing Zen must always mean something for the Terran player, because as much as this can be a good macro map for the Terran player, there's so many exploitable tank spots in which you can siege and get a lot of damage Not a good contain map, but I've seen Terran players actually get some bunkers between the main and the natural. So everything aggressive a Terran player can do can be deadly on Zen, and playing the standard macro game is fairly equal, I'd say, on this map. So we
The
will
drop
see.
play can be super stressing to deal with on this map because you have a lot of dead airspace, and there is a bunker you were talking about, and just out of vision for Patience, and he should go down there with a probe or anything before that bunker finishes, because otherwise that Reaper is going to be super annoying.
Starting with the Stalker, I feel like was super greedy for Patience. Not getting the early adept is something I just never like as the Protoss player. But, I mean, he will start clamping up those Stalker numbers before Blink is done. Getting a Sentry earlier for scouting as well. It can make a difference. I guess Patience is saying that Dream is being annoying, right?
He's saying, you built this?
Oh.
Really?
Well, it is something that I'm seeing more and more often. Like, I feel like Kalazur is doing this every single game. Salvage goes through. Patience is called it. That means GG, right?
No, this is laughing.
Oh, okay.
This is keke.
Okay. I see.
Patience pretty happy with his defense of that bunker, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Bunker being dropped by Dream in his natural as well, meaning that he's looking to play the slow game for the time being. To starting clamping up those Marines and keeping them safe to the Blink Stalkers. That is probably the most standard game we've seen this far. Like, everything has been going exactly by the book as far as this matchup goes.
Oh, to guess again, I guess we're seeing those this robotics and the Colossi again.
Yeah, it is possible. It could also be like a Templar Archives. I don't feel like Patience is going to go Templar Archives after not getting it for the whole series this far. I feel like this is going to be just Robo into Robo Bay, as you were saying. Just the ultimate bread and butter. Protoss versus Terra. I'm surprised we're going to see this kind of a super standard game just in game number 8. And Dream is starting to drop now. It's going to be a whole array of different units. We don't mind. 1 Alien and 1 Reaper. Going to get some damage. These probes are getting burned down.
Oh, that Alien. Okay, didn't get that additional shot off. Still, 7 probes dead. That feels good. That feels really good. For your scouting units and 2 Widow Mines.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage to be dealt from just... Let's
and
call
he
it
also
a
killed the Stalker. Don't forget about the Stalker.
So it is going to be a Robotics Bay being dropped by Patience as well as a Forge. So soon to come, fair base for the Protoss player. Dream on the other side is getting his upgrades, he's getting his production stronger with a fair 3 racks. And he's probably going to get a fair command center in just a little bit after these Stalkers have been shooed away.
I feel like by now, Dream should exactly know what to do against this style. Because he has faced it 3 times already.
Yeah, that is just the widely considered standard way to play the Protoss versus Terran matchup. I'm just surprised Dream is playing like super bread and butter Terran again. So, Patience...
Oh, that third base is going to be cancelled again, isn't it?
Yep, definitely. No third for Dream yet. That's the power of those Blink Stalkers. Able to just get so much value. I think Blink Stalkers is one of my favorite units in the game. At least in this matchup, they can do so much for so little commitment.
I agree. You get out with those a lot.
Yeah.
That has... my experience has shown me that.
Dream also going to start another drop. He really likes his style with Widow Mines into his drops as well, getting a bunch of Concussive Shell Marauders. But with the first Colossus being out, I think he will just retreat, drop in the main, might do way more. The Medivac goes down to the Blink Stalkers, but so does actually the second pylon. If this pylon goes down, that's a pretty important pylon. And it goes down, empowering both the Cyber Core
Oh
and
my
the
god, there's
Gateway.
more falling
Meanwhile,
in the natural.
oh, 6 probes down, and Dream will just retreat back to safety. Good dodge with the Blink to the Widowmine. But the
Another
damage
drop
is
at
there.
the third coming in from Dream. Dream is just absolutely everywhere right now. And he's keeping Patience supply low just by killing those pylons.
That's how many pylons have been killed? Like 4 pylons down, 9 probes. It's not like he's going to replace them anytime soon. And like for a Protoss player, being 11 workers behind after 8 minutes, that's a disaster.
Definitely. I feel like we are going to see the same game
As on
as
Everdream.
on
Yeah,
Everdream.
I was
Exactly.
thinking exactly the same.
Because Patience is just not going to have the money to support a late game.
He's making more
And-
shield batteries right now, which is something I like, but these Colossi are still going to be so exposed. Vikings count is already rising for Dream, is getting the first 2, and now the second, the third, and the fourth one. So those Colossi will not have an easy time, and Dream is about to push again.
A lot of Stalkers at the natural, actually.
Yeah. Patience completely out of position right now. He needs to clamp up his units. Stalkers finally reaching for the main army.
And Dream
is
anticipating
splitting.
it. He's going for the drop, isn't he? No.
I feel like he's waiting for the army of Patience to be on the other side for his drop to go through here in the third base with the 2 Widow Mines.
On the minimap, it looked like he was just loading everything up into those medivacs, but he doesn't need to. He just runs into the natural.
And right now, army
Widow
is on
Mine
the
at
other side.
third.
Widow Mine in the third. That's bread and butter Terran. That's
This is
perfect.
going to be super.
Okay, I was expecting more kills, but 7 is still pretty good.
If you are already low on workers, losing another 7 probes.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh
nice.
man.
Dream really looking good right now. 50 supply ahead. That's way too much for Patient to handle. Templar Archives is his answer. He needs Storm, of course, to try and out-micro the army of Dream.
I'm not sure if he's even getting Storm.
Oh, you mean
He
just
might-
Archons? Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
It could
he
be, it
might
could be.
just pull the trigger with Archons. But on the other side, he's probing up again.
Widowmine's getting 3 more probes, by the way.
Oh man, those Widowmine drops. I wish mine would work like that.
Yeah. I know. I wish my Banelin drops were as good as this.
Okay,
So-
+3 attack
Yeah.
on the way for Patience.
Dream is
I
probably
wonder what
just
he's-
waiting for Shockwave EMP and +2/+2 to deal the finishing blow. But what were you saying?
I'm wondering what Patience's game plan is from now on. He's just continuing building
Colossi.
Colossi, and I don't know, I guess the Viking count is not that high. It's at 10.
Yeah, the EMP is just still going to be the most important thing. Dream cannot really fight without Shockwave, but his army
Oh,
is
that
strong
one
enough.
is a good
A good EMP
position.
gets on top of the Colossi, and the positioning, as you were saying, is incredibly good. All of the Colossi are falling down one after the other. The Vikings count is not high enough, it was looking like, but it is indeed enough to kill the army of Patience to bits. Last Colossi standing will fall in just a second. Another warping of units is trying to save Patience, but the army supply of Dream is 3 times the one of the Protoss player. Shit butter is out of juice. This is the last game for Patience and the last game for Dream. We have a winner of this Alpha Pro series. It is going to be Dream coming out on top of Patience. What to say? This was an incredible series. I feel like Dream has just played top tier StarCraft. Like, it has been just an incredibly good series coming from Dream. I feel like Patience had some incredibly good moments, but on the other hand, it was still looking a little bit rough for him in multiple situations in which he wasn't quite able to keep up with the aggression that Dream was putting through. So in the end, I very much think that Dream has deserved to win this series.
I agree. Dream was just on top, and Patience had his moments with DT play, and when he got into those later stages of the game, you could really see how his brain just muscled out perfect movement. But in those earlier stages of the mid game, he was really struggling to keep on top of Dream's drop play and defend at every location. And that's what he has been saying to Dream right now as well. And he has been asking him for some practice.
Oh, that's nice to hear. That's always nice to see players getting up with each other. But before closing out the stream, before saying goodbye to all of you, I just want to show you something real quick. I will go to my screen immediately to just go over here to this link over here that will lead you to the Match Arena page of today's. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. Let me just copy paste it. It will just lead you to the Match Arena page for today's show match. You can just use the code that is over here, APS 172, just underneath the stream. Click on contribute and just use your coupon code over here. It just takes literally 30 seconds of your time, and you just add money to the prize pool for free. That's all money that gets into the players' pockets. So make sure to help these guys do even better by just making their efforts worth it with a little bit more money into their pockets. So thank you very much. I already see the prize pool and the contribution increase by the minute. So thank you very much for staying with us with this whole stream and for watching these two awesome players fight each other in an awesome best of 9 series. We'll see you again this evening with you were saying it was Stats versus TY, right?
It was a stream actually. He's at it again tonight.
Okay.
In like 3 hours. Should start again.
So we will see you in just a little bit. So thank you very much again. And if you want to say something before I end the stream, please do so.
I hope all of you enjoyed the stream. This was my first time casting for Alpha X.
Oh, you did great, by the way.
Thank you. And I hope we'll see and hear each other again. And until then, have fun laddering.
Thank you very much for joining me on this stream, Black One. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you everyone at the next stream. Thank you.